Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bethany Empowers Tarot. I'm Bethany, and today we're doing a full moon in Capricorn reading, which is today. So if you're watching it on Thursday, July 10th, that is the full moon, but the energy can be felt a few days before and a few days after, and even if you're watching it long after this full moon, and there's messages in here that you resonate with, please take them. It doesn't matter the timing. All that matters is the message. Okay. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about this energy. It has been quite interesting today. So we're going to see what comes out. Kind of try to be short, sweet, and concise, not have a long, drawn out reading. For one, I just don't really have a time. And for two, it just feels like that's not really necessary. We kind of just need to get to the bottom of what this full moon is all about. So full moons are about the completion of a cycle, and they tend to be about releasing things, letting things go, things coming up to the surface more easily so that we can let them go. And Capricorn is an earth sign. It's a very hardworking, dedicated, committed sign, but it is also represented by the devil in the tarot. So with that, it comes with its shadow side, right? I mean, every energy has, and every zodiac sign and every, card has a shadow side and a light side. The devil can be about addictions or vices or things, unhealthy behavior patterns, fear-based thinking, things like that. And, a lot of fear-based thinking has been showing up for me today, just in conversations I'm having with people. And I feel like that is what is being brought up to let go of. And I think it's really important for us to remember that that is the purpose that this energy is here. It's not for us to give into. It's not for us to take action on. It's not for us to solidify believing these fear-based thoughts and beliefs, but it's more about seeing how certain thoughts that we have or certain beliefs that we have push us into that fear-based thinking of whatever it has to do with, and how it's not good for us. It keeps us in a fight or flight state of being, and it keeps our nervous system activated and not regulated. So that's what's been coming up, at least for me. And, I know that that's not all mine. I know that I feel collective energy as well. So we're going to see. Yeah, this makes so much sense. Okay, so the Garden and the Gate. This card is about being on one side of the gate and seeing the opportunity on the other side, right? So she's in this garden, or I don't know if she's in a garden. Yeah, it looks like she's in the garden, and on the other side she can leave the garden, or I mean vice versa if you want to look at it the other way too. But she is contemplating leaving. And so it's like it represents leaving the old or familiar or comfortable in order to venture out into the new. And so that is definitely the theme, right? Like when you're talking about, and look here, we have indecision on the bottom. That's what's happening here, indecision. And then attachment. I'm going to take this one too. What's happening is we are attached to old behaviors, old ways of being, old belief systems, old patterns of thinking. And we have come to this point where we know that there is another way to look at something, to take action on something, to behave, to believe something. And there's a part of us that still wants us to stay safe and comfortable in the old, in the known. And so that's the attachment piece. And the indecision is like, well, like what's safer, right? And so that's where all this fear-based thinking is coming up. Like, I'm afraid of, it's almost to the point where like we're afraid of staying in the old, but we're also afraid of going into the new. So what is safer? That's what it feels like. Because even if the old is not serving us anymore, there's still some draw to stay in that energy because it's familiar, because it's comfortable. But familiar, comfortable doesn't equal good for us. In fact, being uncomfortable is where the growth happens, the change happens. And we cannot stay stuck and stagnant as humans, we are meant to evolve and grow and change. And so it feels like there's a big belief or pattern that we are changing and shifting. So community, this is about obviously community, other people, the people around you, groupthink. That's been coming up for me today a lot too. I posted a reading on Instagram, just not a video reading, but just a post. I'm just checking the cards to see if they look straight. I always do that because they always look straight right in front of me, but then when I watch the video, they look crooked. Anyways, so it was about this also came. So victory reminds me of the Six of Wands. I'm going to put that there because the Six of Wands also came up in the reading. If you want to go follow me on Instagram, it's Bethany Empowers Tarot or Bethany Empowers. I have two accounts. One is public, one is private. Just for personal reasons, I have my private one with more pictures and personal things that I post. And then the public one is more just about tarot. So what was I saying? So it was about the crab bucket theory, where crabs will, if they're, caught in a bucket, right? They're being harvested, basically. Crabs being harvested, which is so very sad. I'm sorry for laughing at that. And one of them is crawling on top of all the other ones to get out to the top, and it reaches the top. The other crabs don't support that crab in doing it. Instead, they pull that crab down because they think it's scary. No, don't do that, right? They want to keep it down with everybody else where it's safe, right? And it's not necessarily because they're trying to sabotage the crab that's trying to get out. It's more about them thinking it's safer where they are. And so that is the mentality that is, doesn't have to mean this is coming from like your direct community, but it's trickled in everywhere in society, whether it's just your social media presence and maybe people that you follow on there, or it's like, your place of work and that's the energy there, or it is your family, or it is your friend group, and it gets a little bit closer to home that way. It's just, it is also about thinking about how are these decisions, these new changes that I want to put into place, how are they going to affect the people around me? And how are people going to respond to me? A lot of it was about setting boundaries with yourself and other people about like not letting people's judgments and opinions of you, specifically being jealous of you because maybe you're surpassing them, quote unquote, in some way. Or you're changing and evolving and growing beyond where they're at the moment. It doesn't mean that they're not going to meet you there, but maybe in the moment you're achieving something or accomplishing something, you're succeeding, you're victorious in something, and maybe you're receiving attention for it. And so, that can bring up jealousy in other people, close to you or not close to you. If you have a social media presence and you have a lot of followers, like you could have like a bunch of followers who are sending that jealous energy towards you, people that you don't even know or have never met. It could be that too. So think about it that way. It doesn't have to be so close to home. So I don't want to freak anybody out. Again, my intention is never to put more fear into people. If people, well, I was saying people, sorry, that was weird the way it came out. What I'm saying is whoever's coming to watch the videos that I post, if you're feeling afraid or you're feeling like you're in your fear based thinking and patterns and you're looking for clarity and truth and reassurance, that's what I want to provide for you. I don't want to put fear into you. So I'm not saying that people are out to get you. I want to normalize this by saying that everybody does this. I see other people and I feel jealous sometimes. We all feel jealous, or we feel like, man, that person's doing something and like, why isn't that happening for me? That could be envy, but jealousy is more like, I want what they have. Envy, I think, is like, I want to be them. I think that's the difference. So again, I don't know if that's correct, but I think that I heard that somewhere and it kind of made sense for me. So I digress. That is what this energy is, like the fear-based thinking, at least, that we're letting go of, that's coming to the surface, is the fear of what other people are thinking about how we're doing things and what we're doing and, with who and when and all of that. Sorry, I'm drinking some coffee, so If I stop talking for a moment, it's because I'm drinking. Okay, so journey. So, this card is about looking at the bigger picture of what your journey is and being on the right path in alignment with your journey. That is the ultimate goal. It's not to please other people. It's not to stay attached to old things, right? It's like we're really being, I don't want to say forced, but really pushed in this direction to cross that bridge, right? Stay on path, stay aligned with what you know you're supposed to be doing, not what you think everyone else is expecting of you. Healer of the ages. So this has a lot to do with your healing and some deep healing. Could be very ancestral, familial healing. And that is very uncomfortable. That is very painful at times. It's scary to do for people because what that means is, and this is more subconscious than it is conscious, is that we are moving away from what we were taught, from who the people who are still in our lives from our family are operating from. And if we do that, what does that mean? Does that mean we're leaving them behind? I mean, it could sometimes. But other times, it's not necessarily that. But our fear is we're going to be alone. No, we're not going to have a family anymore. And so it really is about fitting in somewhere too. Like, so maybe if it's like you're feeling like you're not fitting in into the current community or group that you're in, that's what you're shifting away from. But in order for, and here's the thing that, I've learned from my amazing therapist is that if we're removing something from our life, or we're walking away from something and it's creating this like gap of what we had there before, we have to replace it with something new. And so that is what's happening. Is I think it's the fear of like, well, maybe you're not sure exactly what you're replacing it with, or you don't have you haven't gotten there yet, or you just don't feel comfortable yet with what you're replacing it with. Excuse me. Okay. So this could also be that you are a healer, right? Like you could be into some kind of like Reiki or energy healing, or everyone even if you're not certified or like trained in those things, like we all have healing abilities, and it could be that this is awakening for you. Like some parts of your gifts are awakening through this, and they're wanting you to journey towards that, door to spirit. That also, it's funny because I saw this card and this card when before I started shuffling, and they caught my eye, and so I'm not surprised they came out. So yeah, this is like this kind of like, I'm hearing a spiritual initiation. So you're being initiated. They want you to be initiated. They want you to decide. And even if, say, you do decide to stay where you're at and not go somewhere new, you decide to stay in the attachment longer, it's not that is a bad choice. It means perhaps you're not ready. But I kind of feel like if you're watching this video, you are ready for the change, and that's why the message is coming. But it could also be to remind you that some people might be feeling this and they may decide to stay, right? To not move forward, to not change, to still dabble in that old pattern and belief. And because maybe that's just their journey. That is their for one, it's their right. It is their free will choice, and perhaps it's what their soul needs to experience before they do change, if they do. I mean, some people don't, and it's really about accepting the fact that sometimes the door to spirit or to whatever it is that we're walking through is open to all of us at some point in our lives, and it's up to us whether we choose to walk through it or not. And so maybe it's not time, right? Or maybe you think it's not time because you're too afraid. The fear has gripped you so much that maybe it's not time. And perhaps sometimes our nervous system, it really isn't ready, and that's where more healing needs to be done before we can fully step through that door. And it's about the knowing that there's people in our lives and around us who may not be fully ready for it right now, or when we are, or ever, and accepting that fact. All right, so let's get some tarot on this. All right, so what do we need to know about everything that has come up so far about this theme of the full moon? How can we use this energy? What actions do we need to take? What do we need to know? All right, so the Eight of Wands and the Death card. Okay, so kind of what I'm feeling is like ripping off a band-aid, because like this is very quick movement. Eight of Wands is like fast movement coming through. The death card and the rebirth card is, transformation. It's a death and a rebirth. So something dying and then being reborn. Um, I really feel like it's going to be a quick transformation. And like I said, it's like ripping off a band-aid. It's like once you do it, once you make that decision, whatever. And I think I'm going to get into like, okay, so if we want this to happen quickly, maybe that's what we need in order for us to do it, right? Maybe it's like when you're presented with an opportunity to have a conversation or to say yes or no, instead of waiting and letting all that fear come in and then change your mind about your gut reaction or what you need to do, it's doing it right then, right? And so that's where it's like maybe they're prompting you to be quick about it. Do not wait. But I also want to get into like, okay, what else? How else is it going to show up? Like, see, these two cards came out today in my reading, the 10 of Wands and the 6 of Wands on Instagram, if you want to go read that. Lots of fire energy too. Fire it's quick moving. It's about action. It's about passion as well. It's about what lights us up and gets us to move forward. And we have the World, which to me, lately the world has been feeling like the world at large in terms of like group consciousness. The 10 of Wands is about carrying burdens, right? And that makes sense why the world would be here. And I'm feeling that energy, which is like burning something to the ground. I mean, a lot of things that happen in our society, and I don't want to talk about a lot of issues outside of us at the moment. But it's like we may see, it's like where things can just kind of shift overnight, where all of a sudden, I mean, this is a silly example, maybe not, but I was watching Independence Day with my son the other day, because it was Independence Day, and I was like, oh, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I used to watch it when I was a kid all the time. It's about the one with Will Smith and, the aliens come to Earth or whatever. And, it's like that energy where it's like all of a sudden you wake up or just, and your world has shifted, has completely changed. Like that, so it's like you go to sleep and then you wake up and then things are different. That's kind of the energy that I'm feeling. And the 6 of Wands is about victory. It's about success. It's about being recognized, being publicly recognized. That's why she's on a stage here, right? So it's like, as a modern example, it could be, obviously, modernly, maybe, yeah, will aliens just show up all of a sudden? That could happen. I'm an Aquarius. I believe in aliens. So, but it could be, like I was talking about social media, like all of a sudden you blow up on social media, right? Like I'm here on YouTube, like all of a sudden my channel grows overnight, and it's because I decided to rip off the band-aid and just do it. Just whatever it is that I need to do. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that, like, as an example, maybe it was like I was scared to post and I posted, right? Even though I was like, I really don't want to. And what are people going to think? And, blah, 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 things like that. And so it's when we let go of, this is what we're putting to rest, right? Or what's dying is carrying the burden and the weight of other people's opinions and judgments of us. Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles can be about communication, a messenger. I want to get more about that though. I heard rebuilding. Rebuilding. What does that mean? The Knight of Wands and the Knight of Wands and the Ten of Swords. Lots of, look, we have two tens in this one. This is about letting go of burdens. This is about letting go of the pain from the past, letting something die. Like literally, that is like another death card. Because in the traditional tarot, it shows a man with 10 swords in his back. Putting this over here with all the fire energy. The Knight of Wands is quick movement as well. Passionate energy. It's like letting things move through us. Okay, so as an example, earlier I was having a conversation with a friend and we were talking about things that people have said to her about tarot. And, it was a lot of fear-based opinions. And when she was telling me, I got this wave of fear and I was feeling self-conscious and doubtful and all this stuff. And I was like, oof, this is uncomfortable. I don't like it. And so I got off the phone with her, and then I was sitting there and I was like, well, I know this isn't mine, but it feels so strongly right now that it feels like I've taken it on. It's now in my body, and this energy or this feeling, this fear. And so what I did was I was like consciously like, okay, well, what do I do with it? Like obviously I'm not going to act on it. I'm not going to like all of a sudden take it on as a belief because I know that I don't believe that. So I was like, maybe I just need to validate it. Maybe I just need to let it be there and then move through me and it'll pass. And it's like, urge surfing, what we talk about in DBT. That's dialectical behavioral therapy. And which is what I do for one of my job. So, and so I did that. And then after I did that, I was like, okay, I felt better. Like I didn't, have to act on it. I didn't have to take it on. I didn't have to do anything with it. I just had to let it move through me. And that's kind of what this quick energy feels like. And it's like what we're learning how to do is to like how we let go of the stuff that we've been carrying is when these things come up, we just let ourselves feel it for the moments that it's there. We only hold on to it when we refuse to stop feeling it, right? To stop thinking it. And so it's like when you stop yourself in your own tracks and say, nope, no, like we're not, like, and not to say that you're like denying yourself of feeling it or experiencing it. It's more so like, I'm not going to take this on. It doesn't have to stay in my body. It's going to move through my body. I feel like that's what the Page of Pentacles is representing. It's like being in touch with your body being the messenger. Like, hold on, Justice. Your body being the one to determine, right? Like how to process this, how to, oh, whoops, okay, I guess he's coming out. Two of Cups on the bottom. I'm not sure if that's going to be relevant. We will see. Your body, like trusting your body and like that it knows what to do. And that's kind of what I did. I didn't really try to overthink it. I just let it kind of wash over me and through me and out of me. And I feel like that is what they're asking for. So the Justice card to me feels like contracts. Where have we made unconscious contracts with people, with situations, with beliefs, right? Perhaps we've and it's not like a physical contract that you sign, not necessarily. It feels more like an agreement you've made, right? An attachment. Like this is like the attachment energy. Like what have you agreed to unconsciously because of whatever reason? Maybe when you were a kid, you vowed that I'm never gonna do anything that upsets anybody ever again, right? And then people pleasing was born because of something that happened when you were a kid, and it was so painful to have somebody be mad at you, and so you decided that in order for that to never happen again, I vow that I will never upset anybody ever again. So like as an example like that, like an unconscious belief that has been there. It feels like that, like a contract. It's like I have this card in one of my decks that's like releasing vows of poverty, right? So perhaps it's like some vow that you have of whatever it is. Could be poverty, could be scarcity, could be I don't know, anything else. Fear, you like worry and fear and anxiousness and all those things. Like you could and it's not like, again, it's not conscious, but it's making you're so intertwined. I don't know why I want to go like this. Like it's so intertwined with like you are struggling with identifying that this is not actually who I am or who I want to be. And so it's like untangling that from your identity, from who you are becoming and from who you always were. But this is like an overlay. It feels like it's like overlaid on top of what you have said you are, who you said you were, or how you've shown up. And so it's severing these contracts. The King of Swords is about being more logical and fair. The Justice is also about fairness. And so it's like creating new contracts as well with yourself. So like if you're removing these, like say you're working on people pleasing, like I've just talked about, and you have certain behaviors or certain things that you do, right? Like if you're going to stop doing those things, what are you replacing it with then? If I do this in Theta Healing, and if you are interested in doing a Theta Healing session, because I do specifically work with beliefs and getting to the core bottom belief of something that is holding you back, and then we replace it with something. We clear it, replace it. And so that's this whole idea, is there's beliefs in place that you kind of contractually with yourself have said, this is best for me and this is what should be done. And it's time to throw it out and make a new one, make a new positive one that goes towards what you would like to create for yourself. And so this is about being detached as well. Using your sword, swords are our mind, to cut ties with it. That's what I'm feeling. Okay, I mean, it's pretty clear. I don't know. I will see if there's any more messages that want to come out. I'm going to use another deck. I haven't used this one in a while. Maybe I'll get some after tarot as well. Okay. What else do we need to know about this energy with this full moon in Capricorn? This one and that one. Divine Matrix. Yeah, 44. So 4s are about stability. The Matrix is, again, it's like that, like how we are all connected is what I feel. That's really what I'm getting from that energy. Call of the Muse. Let me get some more and I'm going to interpret. These two are calling to me. A merry motive and a deep breath. So it is about our intentions, This to me feels like it's reiterating what I had said about breathing through the feelings, breathing through the fear, letting it pass through you and not holding on to it. Sorry, I'm just trying to get more about these. I'm going to pull some tarot. These ones are a little bit more difficult for me to interpret. I feel, maybe it's because I haven't spent a lot of time with them. Okay, what else do I need to know about this energy? The Tower, the Queen of Pentacles, 3 of Swords. Okay, wonderful. So yeah, it's, to me, this is like letting go of the things that have already gone, right? The destruction of the old has already, it's already been healed, or is healing, and you're ready to reap the rewards of doing the work. And with the merry motive, this is like, I feel like just being more positive, like looking more on the positive side, having good intentions. Yeah, see the 6 of Wands again. So this is like, maybe it's also, I feel like it's recognizing, because call of the Muse also to me, like a muse is like being inspired by somebody. And it's like letting yourself be that muse for other people and for yourself, like that you have healed and like you've actually done the work and you've actually learned how to change your beliefs and replace them and make new ones and all of that. Like, so there are some of you who I'm talking to who are, still doing that and perhaps need support. And then there are some who are ready to be that support for others or to be that muse for others. So, put yourself where it lands for you. This also to me feels like it's okay to be happy. It's okay to own this about yourself. It's okay to take in this recognition, this love, this attention. It's okay to do that because you deserve it because you've done it. You know, like this is my after tarot. So this is like moments after. So this is like the healing has occurred. You've taken the swords out and you have healed or are healing. You know, you have been given this. You are recognizing what you have and you are perhaps being given new opportunities. The tower is that look, it's you've already gone through the tower moments you needed to go through. With the divine matrix, again, that to me feels like just the groupthink mentality. And the deep breath to me feels like the ability to, like we were talking about the urge surfing, or the deep, taking the deep breath and not taking on your emotions that, you know, are, you're not supposed to take on, and instead letting them move through you. So it represents like all the ways that you have worked on healing and developing these practices to regulate your nervous system and heal your nervous system. So yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty clear. That's it. I mean, the same cards, you know, this card has come out twice, and you know, it came out earlier today. So the Six of Wands is a big energy for today. If you know, if you want to learn more about the Six of Wands, you can look it up. But yeah, if you have any questions, please email me. That is below. You can leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys. You can follow me on Instagram at Bethany Empowers or Bethany Empowers Tarot. Send me a message. Interact there. If you would like a reading with me, you can email me or you can DM me on Instagram. There's also links below for ways that you can get a reading or an energy session. I do Reiki, Theta healing, and I also do ontological coaching. So yeah, contact me if you have any questions. I'm sending you guys so much love, so much support, and so much self-regulation for this full moon in Capricorn. All right, I will see you guys again soon. Bye.